music for that.
That is so lovely. Much better than the Golden Globes.
Oh, well, I don't think it would take much. Hey.
Oh, hi, everybody.
It's Monday. Finally back on a Monday again where we belong. It's the EriDan Film Festival here to talk about film and fun with family and friends on this lovely Monday evening, January 8th.
It is January 8th already.
Trucking into 2024.
We are 8 days into 2024. Hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. But we're still here. We're still doing this.
It started in 2020, and here we are in 2024.
I know.
Which technically means this is our 5th year of doing this, even though we haven't done it for 5 years.
Your math is really weird on that.
2020 is a year. 2021 is a year. 2022.
We did like 3 months in
2024. I'm saying, but we've done this in 5 different years. How about that?
I don't know. Somebody's going to have to check your math. But I do know that it is episode 185 of this.
That's math.
That is math. And this is our 228th movie, if you're keeping track that way. And it's your mother's choice. It's Susan's choice. The Creator from 2023 all the way back in 2023. I remember 2023.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, and currently streaming on Hulu. If you haven't had a chance to watch The Creator, you can watch it there. And if you have watched The Creator, you can join us here at eridanlive.com, and you can be on the shoe, and you can talk to us about what you thought about this movie, and maybe have a chance to pick next week's movie. Such an honor. No, actually, that's a lie. You might get a chance to choose the movie for 2 weeks from now.
Right. We'll find out what next week's movie is tonight.
You get to find out soon what next week's movie is. So the anticipation is palpable.
One person who will not be on much tonight is Adam, because he's watching football. It is the national championship. Our Washington Huskies are in the national championship. The entire country is rooting for them against Michigan, it seems. People don't seem to like Michigan.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wah, 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 wah,
wah, wah, wah. It had nothing to do with Travis Kelce, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know who Travis Kelce? Of course you know who Travis Kelce is.
Well, now I do.
Speaking of Travis Kelce.
Brian.
I don't know who Travis Kelce is. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
I was going to assume, since you were making a comment to Eric about it. So, yeah.
My mother's here.
I love how your mother's avatar is like, she's like throwing glitter. Like, she's magic. Fantastic. Speaking of
glitter.
Dan says, speaking of glitter, and Stacy instantly folds her arm, like totally closing off, like totally like she's mad about something.
No. Speaking of Travis Kelce, is that his name?
Yeah,
he was just an answer on Jeopardy.
See, they did not know who Deuteronomy was.
Oh man,
what Deuteronomy was?
Oh no, mother.
Okay.
How are you guys doing in there in Chippewa, Pennsylvania?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
We're back on campus, and it was a crazy day today.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that you can be here tonight for all the magical festivities. Let's say hello to David. Oh wait, I just pushed this button. That's not the right button. This is the.
Hey,
how you doing?
Wait a minute. Is that what I think it is? Hold that up.
What did I miss?
Wow. You've got one of the 3 copies.
Fresh from eBay.
What is that?
Wow.
What is that?
That's P.S. Your Cat is Dead. The movie I was in with Steve Gutenberg.
Oh,
Out of it. One right there as well. I've got one of the 3.
wow.
Oh, if we could track down the 3rd copy.
Steve Gutenberg.
I have a monopoly on this.
Yeah, how about that? Oh, nice. This name drop is sponsored in part by Death. It's closer than you think. Death is not available in all areas. Please consult your doctor to find out if death is right for you. There you go.
But you are right, Dan. Everybody wants Washington to win because nobody can stand Harbaugh.
I know. Yeah.
All
Anyway.
right.
Yeah.
He was only
Yeah,
just
You got that?
4 games this season for breaking the rules.
Yes.
Everybody keeping notes? This has been Sports Talk.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Same.
Now,
Wait,
All right.
guys.
speaking of people who don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
I don't know. What is going on?
I don't know.
You're hoping you could tell us.
Very
I-
sorry.
Adam does say seeing Taylor Swift have no sense of humor at the Golden Globes made me dislike her even.
Ah.
Well, and was there ever a more cringy monologue than that? I don't know that I've ever seen a stand-up in the middle of his routine start apologizing for the jokes and say, "You're laughing at the ones I wrote."
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I was gonna say, this is. I don't think coming down on the side of Joe Coy at this point is a popular opinion.
He's a very funny comedian.
He is.
Very funny.
Who was
But-
it?
He was.
Oh boy. But some people are just not good at hosting award shows that are live.
Yeah.
Letterman was horrible.
Oh, yeah,
Letterman. It still doesn't save.
Oprah, Uma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
The problem is you can't go out there. If it's bad material, it's bad material.
Exactly.
And
Right.
So
It's
if you want to start,
whether you hosted well or not,
if you're a Billy Crystal and you want to start going off script and just riffing because you think the written jokes are bad, you do that. But you don't just keep doing jokes and then claim credit for the funny ones and say the other ones were somebody else's fault.
Well,
That's kind of funny, actually.
it was a harmless joke. She needs to get over herself. Honestly, she probably didn't even hear it because from what I've heard in the room, you cannot hear past like the first 3 rows.
And it wasn't a very funny joke either.
No.
It was pretty
No.
flat.
But yeah,
Well, no, he
did take 10 days is not very last minute, but usually
Well, I
they have
agree.
to prepare. But it is pretty close to last minute.
Well, yeah, but if you take a gig like that, you better be prepared.
Yeah.
And if,
Yeah.
if
Better
you're
writer.
gonna go after things, if you're gonna go the Ricky Gervais route where you're gonna rip on stuff, you better be prepared for that maybe not to go your way. Right.
And I'm sorry, even if it's true that his jokes were funnier than the ones the other writers did, you don't just start blaming them in the middle of your speech.
Oh no, and he was like blaming the audience. Like, come on, you guys want a perfect monologue? I just got this gig 10 days ago.
Yeah, he got very defensive.
Yeah.
That's my new style of comedy. I'm blaming my writers.
Yeah. So hopefully, you know.
He shouldn't have had ChatGPT write his jokes.
There you
That
go.
would have been funnier if he said that.
Maybe that would have been a better idea for him.
Yeah.
And that's our segue to our movie.
That is
Yeah,
that's a beautiful
Something
segment.
bombs and it goes, ChatGPT wrote that. That would have been funnier.
Yeah, that would have been a funny one. Say,
Yeah.
Blame AI. Don't blame
There's a
writers.
lot he
Speaking
could
of
have
AI,
would have been funny, but yeah.
There's no-
Unfortunately, he could have used some advice from the writers of The Creator. Shall we go into this? Let's do this. The Creator from 2023. John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Ken Wannabe. I have no idea. Gareth
Wannabe.
Edwards, written with Chris Weitz, and directed. $80 million budget, $104 million worldwide. Critics at a 66. Audience at a 76. I had never heard of this movie before this was brought up last week.
but it like went right to, I feel like it went right to Hulu, but it also did some theaters apparently.
No, it was definitely in the theaters. In fact, the poster said in theaters, September 29th, right there.
Oh, I'll take the Hulu off of there. Sorry, I thought this was a Hulu movie.
No, it's not a Hulu movie. Well, or if it was they put it in theaters to try to get, I don't know, some buzz or something. But no, it appeared to be a movie.
All right, my bad.
Yeah, it had a theatrical run.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They made money.
And the director of Rogue One. So clearly a director and writer who likes movies where most of the main characters die at the end. Spoilers.
I don't think my mom has texted me her syllabus here. I don't know if you want to.
Her syllabus.
I can't tell you that.
Syllabus.
Is there a quiz at the end?
I feel which one.
I might fail.
Nope. I
You
don't
have
have
choice of
anything.
2 answers, A or I.
I do know that she said that AI is frightening her, and so she was enthralled with this movie, and she had to watch it a couple of times because same thing happened to me. That used to happen to me. I fell asleep a few times. You had to go back.
I wanted to.
I definitely got distracted a lot and then had to read the Wikipedia plot summary to make sure I got everything in the middle. I was kind of zoned out. I hope I kind of caught what was going on.
Yeah, I paused a bunch.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. It's a little dark.
Got really bored.
I didn't find it confusing. I just found it
Yeah.
It felt very
inexplicable.
stereotypical.
Intelligence of artificial
Like-
intelligence.
Every other sci-fi AI movie. There isn't anything that felt particularly stand out about it, so it just kind
It
of
was
got
a
very
good-looking
boring.
movie.
It was
The
very,
special effects were very well
Absolutely.
done.
very well done. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little the aliens with the. I
But
don't know.
why were they moving? I mean, they clearly the cylinders were moving purely because they thought it looked cool, not because there was any practical reason they should be
Yeah.
moving.
It
That's
looked
the secret to AI. That's what
real.
we haven't unlocked yet.
Uh,
We need more spinning cylinders.
the hole through the head.
Yeah.
It's just-
Is that a metaphor?
They had good faces.
They had good faces. They didn't
They
have
were
good
human faces.
They were human faces.
The guy's arm was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I said,
you
I,
want
I
some
thought the
nubs,
special
you wanna
effects team did a great job.
Yeah, the special
Absolutely.
effects actually really looked like a more expensive movie.
All right.
We're not. No,
Here we go. Here we go.
No.
It was not my type of movie, but the subject of AI intrigued me, and then there's an object I can't see.
Oh wow.
Oh, mystery object.
Mystery object. I did think it was an interesting premise. I also thought it was interesting to watch a movie where the United States was mostly the problem.
The United States was a bunch of idiotic, evil people. I mean, there was just nothing redeeming about our entire country in this.
No, we do not come off good in this movie.
I mean,
And it
that's
was
far off.
Yeah.
I was very frustrated when they had it be like, oh, and the nuclear bomb, it was just a coding error. The AI are perfectly good. They would never make a mistake. It just kind of like neutered them entirely as a threat. It was
Yeah.
Well,
like
And-
I would
and
much
why they
rather they
built this-
grapple with like the AI made a mistake, but the AI was ultimately programmed by humans, and now we have to figure out how to coexist with them. It's like, oh no, they are perfect beings. We just have to.
And they built
Yeah.
this massive flying platform, which for some reason flies incredibly slowly. But whose sole reason to exist seems to be we need a single point of failure.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
They had an exhaust.
Nobody will think to try to take this thing down.
And they apparently built it to take out one person.
And the movie ends as soon as it's destroyed. Like things are not going to just be good afterwards. Like the entire U.S. is going to be more anti-AI than ever. Like
Well, they didn't want to broach that, Amanda. You can't get into all that.
No, Creator 2.
there we go.
Oh
And is
my.
that a Star Trek reference? The fact that it's called The Creator and the name of the ship is Nomad? Because there's the episode with I Am Nomad, I Am Perfect, where he was looking for the creator
Oh,
from
yeah.
Star Trek, the original series.
I feel like I remember that episode. I think I do. Yeah.
Don't remember. I forgot.
It could be.
Could be.
Scott says this is apparently the favorite movie of the year for a guy who directed Godzilla -1.
To get into one other small thing I liked was
This
I
one
did find
by the guy who did.
the animals funny. The dog carrying the bomb out
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
monkey setting off the explosive.
That was
It was silly, but it was fun.
They could have used a little more of that.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the guy who directed Godzilla -1, who is Takashi Yamazaki, this was his favorite movie, is what we're saying.
That's what Scott seems to say.
Favorite movie of the year for the guy Okay. So, and now Godzilla -1 seems to be getting all sorts of excitement and hype, and people are very excited about that movie.
And Dave, all she has to do is this.
Yeah, how this power, this magic. Okay, just because it's artificial intelligence, it doesn't mean it's magic. Somehow
No, it's
it
just
has the
magic.
power to
It's-
control all technology.
She's just like a real pro hacker. We just are kind of skipping
Yeah.
like that. Everything is terrible encryption, so she could just like wirelessly connect to every electronic. And
But
She
it even
is a
turns
robot.
off like flashlights. I mean, it turns
Yes,
off everything.
it's like an EMP and like also any type sort of it's very
She can turn on a cartoon even if there's no cartoon available. Like programming is irrelevant for her.
No, you know, you could just go like, and then Jesse's
That
girl
would be awesome.
field would come up.
Why would a technology that can launch missiles decide that it's practical to deliver bombs by putting 2 feet on them and having them run toward the enemy?
Those were my favorite there. I like them.
Oh my god!
There's an honor sword.
I mean, again, it was visually cool, but stupid.
And it was so slow. It was the
I think-
slowest runner ever.
Yeah, I think it was more like it seemed more like it was going to be like a commentary on like, see, the Americans are actually the terrorists in this movie, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how he ended up. It was also that I love when first of Allison Janney. I don't think she's been bad in anything. She was pretty good in this.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
But she when she took the one and said, it's time to send you off, and he's like, it's been a pleasure working with you, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that was awfully nice.
It's
It was
like
a very polite, non-AI robot. Clearly,
well, see, that's the thing. It's to give them this. They're real. But then the next one didn't say anything like
It
that.
just took off.
It just took off like it was supposed
Well, I
to.
didn't like her as much.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's not a pleasure for him.
I'm
Yeah, I
curious
guess.
what the rest of the world was doing because we have the U.S. and then we have like Asia.
Some
and
part of
then
Asia, yeah.
That's
New
it.
Asia.
Well, it's New Asia, so was it everybody else?
The Wikipedia page listed it as being Southeast Asia, like it was Japan and Thailand and like Vietnam and like India. For some reason, it was just Southeast Asia. But again, who knows? Like, but not China and not like Russia or anywhere in Europe or like a good portion of.
What's going on in the rest of
world.
the United States? I mean, they bombed L.A., but what about the rest of the United States?
I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of the United
Right.
States is okay. They just because like it was such a big terrorist attack, they just went
Yeah, it-
hardcore.
Yeah,
It sort of gave me the impression that it was like a moonshot kind of thing where they decided to, devote all of our GDP for the next 10 years to finding a way to eradicate AI.
What I didn't understand is why anybody was in LA at all to do anything. Our radiation levels are much lower today. Why are you there? Go elsewhere. Go elsewhere. There's no reason to ever
Well,
be
no,
in LA
it's
again. with a
cleanup.
big
I mean,
crater.
you could say, well, why did they clean?
in LA?
Why did they clean
there,
up
you have to
after
go.
9/11? It's because that's what you do. You prove to the terrorists you're rebuilding. You don't just leave it as a wasteland.
Except it's radioactive. like if 3 Mile Island would go down, they would move people out of there. They
Yeah,
would.
Chernobyl is still kind of empty.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't. My read of it, and again, I wasn't paying full attention during the movie, so I might have missed something. But my read of it was that it wasn't populated. It was just people were doing like cleanup expeditions into
Yeah.
LA. So like people
Yeah,
weren't
that's sort of the
living.
impression I got. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It seemed
people
like
weren't
they were
living
going
there.
in
They
and
were getting those.
extracting the AI in there and then crushing them.
Which is what they do with Fukushima and places like
Yeah.
that. They go in periodically to assess the current state of things.
Yeah, so that was my read. Was that it was not inhabited? Because I agree that would be insane to like re-inhabit an actively radioactive site
Although-
in 5 years.
Having 10 years later, some of the robots apparently still have power sources and still, no, where's my child? Where's my child? It was just- they tried so desperately to make me care about these AIs and managed to fail miserably because I
Yes.
never had any feeling whatsoever for them.
I agree.
I didn't really have that many feelings towards the humans either.
I agree.
Yeah.
There was no sympathetic character at all in this movie, really.
Yeah, and this is a dumb complaint, but I spent after like the first sentence, I was very worried early on during the initial press conference, and the guy was like, "After the terrorist attack, we have banned all AI in the Western world," and I spent like the rest of the movie trying to figure out how true that was, just because like they clearly have machine translation technology. That's AI. Like unless they've gone back to like rule-based methods. Like
It's like all of this. It depends how you define AI.
yeah,
because-
and like they seem to define AI in this movie as like autonomously intelligent robots.
Yes.
Like they're happy. Like I imagine their lunar-based system runs on some forms of AI. Like I'm sure that their shuttle launch setup that
The
they
other-
had to do it was automated. That ran on some sort of AI. But
But
No,
the
they
other
went
weird
against-
thing about that is, in contrast to, say, the Terminator universe, where Skynet is the overarching AI, and Skynet itself does not, it's not like a body running around. It's in some massive computers somewhere, and it sends minions out to do its bidding. In this one, the individual entities apparently are intelligent,
Yes.
but there seems to be no central AI at all.
Right.
Like no AI ever developed outside of these humanoid robots.
Right. Which
Right.
is part of the not having a big agenda, right? Which is why it's like, wow, clearly the AI didn't set off a nuclear weapon because AI doesn't have some master controller, who's out to kill everybody. It's just all individual robots just trying to make a swell life for themselves.
They're just good old fashioned middle class robots trying to make an honest buck, right?
It's this is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I think this movie is just solely going against Spotify Wrapped. They're just trying to figure out how to shut down.
What I didn't understand about the robots was some of them had faces and some of them did not, but were still wearing clothing.
It's just what you can afford for a robot.
It just made
It's like
Yeah,
some
it's
cars
just so
come with a sunroof, some cars come with power windows, and some
Yeah.
cars
Exactly. You want your robot with a face, or do you want it with a
It's
nice,
an extra cost option.
nice blazer?
but
The
why
Aerobot would be a nice looking robot.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be.
oh my brain. It was all over the place with that
It
kind of
was.
stuff. It didn't make sense. There was no rhyme or reason, in my opinion, watching the movie as closely as I did, that it didn't make sense.
The funny thing is, all of this is true that we have been saying. I didn't have a terrible time watching it. Like, I
Oh.
really didn't mind it.
I will tell you, we paused it at one point to, I think we were watching it during dinner, and we paused it to take out our dirty dishes. And we saw we were only halfway through. We both went, oh.
Right.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was
Yeah.
taking
That experience.
Long.
I didn't.
They
I
could
had.
they could have definitely shortened it.
Yeah. No,
It
I
just
was. I
slogged
didn't
on to me.
mind
I didn't hate it. It just-
The robots had different purposes and jobs. So the humanoid robots were like more, they weren't just worker bees.
There were your protocol droids versus your.
That's right. Exactly. Right.
I read it as they were more like
A bad motivator.
different classes.
they were like the older ones, the ones that didn't have faces. I don't know. That's how I read it.
complete
Yeah, but there were some that didn't have faces and didn't have clothing.
Yeah.
And some had no faces
Dude,
and clothing.
Well, they weren't shy.
Robots don't have to feel shame.
yeah, the modesty
That's
in
right.
robots is pretty
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to be wearing clothes. I thought, isn't that
Oh,
going to get stuck?
Now
in
you
something?
in the film.
Isn't that going to
know
get
what
stuck
phase
in
it's into.
something, in some gear or something?
Now you're okay with nudity in a film.
Robot nudity.
Oh,
Well, and the monkey was nude too.
it's terrible. It's just
Oh,
terrible.
Lord.
No
I
respect
didn't.
for
I
the
didn't
robot.
hate it. It just
No.
seemed to. It
Yeah.
just seemed to have no reason to exist.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it
that's
felt
a-
like there wasn't anything particularly novel that made this one stand out, especially
No.
considering how long it was.
It's the kind of movie that if it hadn't looked so good, you'd think it had no budget.
Yeah.
But it did have a budget because it looked really good.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of vibes like Star Wars a little bit. I was getting a little, and had some good music, like big orchestra stuff. I'm like, what the heck are they? It just seemed a little bit much.
My
They
mom
put a
said
lot of
she
money
was
into
great.
that.
She was right.
Yeah.
And that's true.
I will
That's
say
how-
that. I think that honestly, and I said that this earlier today. to my sister about the fact that I thought, well, it might be a more interesting conversation than it was a movie.
That's usually how it goes. Book club is the same way. If people don't like the book in book club, they will talk for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my wife has book club tonight at 7, and she's like, some of the women don't even read the book. I'm like, just call it wine club, because that's really what it is. Take a bottle of wine and talk about the wine.
What did they read?
I don't know.
That would involve me talking to my wife. I don't do that.
I also feel like they could have addressed a bit more as to why New Asia sided with the AI. They kind of just did, I guess, because they saw the good in them, but there was like really a lot. Again, I may have missed a lot of this development, but it was mostly just like, because they're perfect and pure and good, and the U.S. is evil and doesn't see that. It's like,
Right.
okay. But like there was,
Yeah, it was an underlying premise: is U.S. stupid and evil.
right.
yeah, but there was just no interesting nuance to last for a 2.5-hour action movie.
And if they're outlawing AI in the West, why are they invading Asia? Apparently, just to find this one person.
Yeah, because
Apparently,
it's not
they're
like,
the only person who can do AI.
Well, it felt like they were trying to wipe out AI all over the world, whether people.
but that's an
agree
absurd,
with them.
impossible
Yeah,
goal.
there you
It's just not a thing.
Like trying to wipe out wind once it's out there.
But Dave, wind causes cancer.
It's like nuking a hurricane, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
well, and just like outlawing AI in the West, like I would assume that there's probably still people in the US who are doing stuff with AI, and that could have been an interesting direction to go. But no, it's just like, nope, we all agree, no more AI in the West.
They
Just
never
done with
showed,
it.
as Dan or someone else mentioned, they never showed one single thing about what was going on back in the US.
Yeah.
After that one press conference, the entire rest of the movie was in
And we
Asia.
saw LA being
Yeah.
cleaned up.
Oh, yes,
but that
we
was
did
it.
see the 5-minute scene of LA with the cleanup. You're right.
Yes, but no parts of the US that are actually functioning. And have
And New
people
York
that
might
we
be
can-
fine.
There you go.
There he is.
Yay, there's our monkey.
If I was a monkey, I would do this too.
He's
And
like,
by the way, I'm tired of where people are shooting and no one gets hit.
right.
Oh yeah, they were worse shots than stormtroopers. It was, that's actually, and not only the humans, the robots are worse
Yeah.
shots than stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Which
Assuming
should
with
not
all
be
this AI,
possible.
they'd be able to hit something, but no.
Right.
They've got
That was actually a problem I had with it. Yeah. They
robots that make 60-yard field goals consistently, and shoot 3-pointers or half-court shots with a basketball. Just automatically shoot it every single time. Yet they can't get them to shoot a gun.
Yeah. Moving targets, though, Dan. And the basketball hoop is not moving.
Some of these people are not moving targets, but that's just what I'm going to say.
But they're not
All
like accelerating at weird speeds. You can tell where they're going to be in like a second.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can plot the projected.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really not that weird.
they could simulate emotions, right? It's just super complex, but they can't, figure out the
Extrapolate
math.
where a human
Yeah.
will be in like a half second.
I also love the tech guy who figured out in about a 3-minute exam, oh, she'll eventually grow
What
able to
she's-
control all technology.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He scanned her AI. Okay, that's just how it
He
works.
was that good.
I was just waiting.
The
for one
AI
of the
told
robots-
him probably.
Yeah.
I was waiting for one of the robots just to say, "I need this like a hole in the head."
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
also-
Yeah.
I feel like one of the big complaints about like AI in the real world is that they're black boxes, but apparently these are perfectly transparent, so you can just see exactly what she is going to do in the near future.
It involves rotating cylinders. We've
Oh, that's true.
determined.
As long as you can read the cylinder, it's pretty much fine.
That's right, exactly.
And this is an amazingly impractical vehicle.
I thought that going back to talking about the United States, I thought that the United States general was going to be found to be an AI, to be a
Yeah.
robot, because he
Ah.
sounded so weird.
Uh-huh.
He had this odd voice that
Hmm.
sounded mechanical, and he moved funny. And I thought that's going to be some plot twist. And then
That would have been a
never-
fun twist.
And
Yeah.
apparently they never thought to design their missiles such that if the place it was launched from shuts down, the missile would still explode.
I was
Yeah.
kind of like, is that how missiles work? They don't explode unless the place that you
I think that's an AI thing, the missile.
They just,
Part of the cylinders, yeah.
oh, the ship's gone, so the bomb we dropped now won't explode. Oh well.
I don't know what to do.
This is the
I thought-
future.
The Joshua guy was going to ride one of the bombs down to Earth.
There you go. That would have been.
Dr. Strangelove would be great.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
There's no cowboy hats though.
Now, my mom says Paul Giamatti. Again, there's an object there. I don't know what it was. One Last Night for the Holdovers. And that was one of the movies she was going to pick, but it was only available on Peacock or for $20. So she didn't pick that. But
And we
will
saw
we
that
be talking about it 31 minutes in? I don't think so.
Honestly, I think this was a great
Oh,
pick.
I'd still be talking about it. I saw it in theaters and really enjoyed it. Not theater. I shouldn't use plural.
Yeah. How many times did you go? Well, I
Every
went to
theater in the area.
I went to the Showcase Cinemas in Green Tree, and then I don't know what movies are anymore.
Is there a Showcase Cinema in Green Tree?
So, there used to be.
Not anymore.
Yeah, there used to be Robinson. I'm not sure Green Tree though. Oh, that's right. There was the one at the Parkway Center Mall, wasn't there? Was there one there?
Oh, wow.
See, I'm going old school, Dave. It's been a long time.
I'm going to the Beaver Falls Cinema. You know, one screen, no waiting.
The Regal Cinema? No, what was that called?
What did I see there? I saw the Three Musketeers there.
I saw Star Wars there once.
Ooh,
Second
man,
time.
we went to Beaver Valley Mall or BG. I can't remember which to see.
Maybe I saw Grease.
See Star Wars.
The Granada. It was the Granada.
Ah,
Oh, downtown.
Downtown on 7th Avenue. Downtown.
Yep.
Brian is like,
Heaven Can
what?
Wait. I saw Heaven Can Wait there.
I have not
that's,
been
one
to
movie
Beaver
like,
Falls.
that's actually on my list to possibly pick sometime. That's one of Warren Beatty's better movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Saw
yeah.
the Chris
We
Rock-
were supposed to be seeing Star Wars, but then it turned out no. So it was a letdown. Let me just
I never saw any movies there. Never.
Wow.
Beaver Falls.
What's
Only
there
one
now?
I
Is it still there? Is it
No, I
empty?
think they tore it down and put the health and human services building in for the county.
You can't see Star Wars there.
No.
All right, shall we score this fine film?
Yeah. Woohoo.
My mom has to give me her score, and then I'll tell you what that is. But while we're waiting, we could start with Dave.
Oh, good, Dave.
Yeah, you know, I didn't hate it. It just was uninteresting.
It's no Time Cop.
No, I was more mad at Time Cop. The only thing that's frustrating about this movie is there was enough pieces there to make a good movie, and they just didn't bother to do it. I mean, the performances weren't bad. The special effects were excellent. The dialogue was okay. It was the underlying premise that was the whole problem with the movie. And how you spend all this money on all the rest of the pieces of this movie and nobody point out, shouldn't you have a better premise? It's just a little wild. So I didn't hate it, but I sure didn't enjoy it. It just was frustrating. So it's a 60.
All right. Well, it passed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's again. So
yeah, every week.
Uh-oh. I locked up. Oh no.
I like the special effects, and it did bounce around kind of crazy the way they edited things and the different storylines and like different like little movies, but yeah, I definitely agree. It was. I'm going to give it a 65 though.
I did not like this movie. I did not care about this movie. I was not paying attention all the time. But I was in the room. The filming was fine, but it just didn't. It was not. The storyline was not up to the quality of the film, which I guess can pull it out of the muck, I guess. But I'm going to give it a 60.
60.
Yeah.
Another 60. All right.
Not
We'll go with
impressed.
Amanda.
Yeah, I was bored by this movie. I wish it were shorter. I would be able to give it a better score if
Right.
less long to bore me. But just the whole middle of it was just like them chasing them down, and it was just like, okay, that's fine. Without any interesting like world building, if you kind of run around the world, at least do some fun world building while you're doing that. I found it just a really frustrating take on AI because it was just a like weird middle ground where like AIs are capable of literal magic, they can do everything, but also they are pure, good, wholesome beings. It's like, well, neither of those just remotely makes sense, but okay, cool. And they just didn't explore anything interesting with it, which was just kind of frustrating. There were some things that I liked. I mean, I agree with everybody else that the graphics were good, the effects were cool. The characters were boring, but it was ultimately like fine acting. And I did kind of like the whole like memory transfer thing when the guy was dying and they're like, oh, we need to ask him a question and we have 30 seconds and we transfer his consciousness into this like simulation body. It's like, it's kind of a cool idea. They didn't do a lot with it, but like it's kind of a neat thing. But yeah, I just got really bored with it. And I feel like we've watched a lot of okay, not objectively boring, but boring to me action movies recently. In that recently I have scores for Time Cop and Die Hard, which were both just action movies with a lot of cool, pretty effects, and were just ultimately boring to me.
Wow, Die Hard and Time Cop looped together. Thanks. That's awesome.
I don't know. Time Cop was at least a little more interesting to watch, and it was shorter. So I'm going to give this one a 55.
I forgot also that I found it really annoying to him. I mean, for him to find out that his wife is still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, that he fell for that trick that,
Yeah.
oh, look, we verified
Yeah.
it. It's true.
Yeah. That's
When
what I
they
was thinking
needed him was really gullible. And then to find out that he was sort of still alive, but she's basically been a vegetable for 5 years and they keep her in a temple, was just kind of weird.
And nobody can flip the switch but him.
Yeah, because they're all AIs. They can't kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
even though
showed
they can fix people, maybe that's why they miss all the time.
I feel like they showed us a lot of like emotional flashbacks of like, oh, look how much they loved each other. You should feel terrible for him. And it's like, I still don't really care about either of the characters. Because it was mostly just flashbacks of them dancing on the beach, and I'm like, well, fine, but
People have fun on beaches. We get it. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, they were not a couple that I cared about in the
Yeah.
first 5 seconds of the film, and then gone. I
yeah.
didn't care. And then he had lied to her, and it was weird, and it was not sympathetic.
Yeah.
And does the cylinder on the little kid's head grow as the body grows?
I did
or
wonder
do they
how
have to replace
aging
it every
works.
few years?
Yeah.
They have to replace it like a shell on a hermit crab.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian, what do you say? By the way, Brian, none of us have seen you in person. We cannot prove you're not an AI.
Good point.
Yeah, you got those
I'm
headphones
sorry.
on. It kind of, I don't know.
You can only animate the head.
How many of these pictures have a bicycle in it? No, I'm kidding.
It was one of the better Geico commercials.
Oh man. I basically feel the same way that everybody else has. It was very slow, you know. I paused it because I was like, I'm gonna go do something else for a while and then come back to this. I hated that thing that Dave was talking about when like they're in that temple and she's like still alive. I'm like, wait, so they can kill like thousands and millions or however many they have, but they can't kill her? We're like, really?
Right.
Okay.
That's why they're such bad shots. They're trying to miss.
And they're trying to make me care about the AI. You know, like I know the entire time they're trying to make me care about it, and I just don't. Like they said this line in it, and I'm like, yep, that's true. They're just programming. It was something like that, right? Like it's just programming. They said it so many times. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Like you're not gonna make me sad, like with the whole thing. Like, yeah, I was kind of sad that he died.
The child was crying, bro. Have you no heart?
The child was crying, and yes, I had a heart about that, but not about the all the other stuff. I really think that they should have made him ride the bomb down to Earth, like in Doctor Strangelove. Because they could have had like I don't know how many more movies. Like how many did they do the same premise from? Like Terminator, Matrix, like nothing new. Like I read stuff about this, and they said that there was like, oh, it's such a new and creative idea. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to give it. I'm gonna like. I was thinking 60 when we started, but like I kind of agree that it's lower than that. So I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Amanda with 55.
Righto. My mother loved The Child, but after watching it twice, still didn't love the movie. 71 is what my mom gives it.
Okay.
And it took me 2 watchings to get through it. That happens to me all the time, though. I can't blame that. The visual effects were really good. The story could have been better, obviously. The acting was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't hear anybody really complain about the acting.
The acting wasn't a weak part of it. No.
Yeah. So
No.
if you have special effects and good acting, you have bad writing. So we have 2 out of the 3. So I'm going to go 68.
68. Yeah, obviously, I think everybody's covered this at this point. I didn't hate it. Like honestly, like I wasn't mad during it.
That's good.
I just felt like it could have been. There was a lot it could have been for the amount of money that was spent, the effects that they had.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot in there that might have been a lot more interesting had they delved into it. You know, they could have made a better movie, is what it comes down to. But at the end of the day, you know, if it's this or Time Cop, I'm watching this again. So I'm gonna go.
I don't think I am. Time Cop's shorter.
Yeah. Time
exactly.
Cop is.
Time Cop's better.
I'll watch Time Cop.
I'm gonna go 67. Sure, why not? Somewhere in there.
All right, and there's Adam. At least the special effects were good. He can 30 times better than Cats.
Wow.
A lot of cats.
All right.
We talked about the acting. Eric brought that up, or I think
I brought that up.
Oh, you did. Okay, Allison Janney, you brought her up earlier too.
Oh,
at one point, I do like her, but at one point, I was like, "Was that Peach from Nemo?" Because it is, but that's exactly who she sounded like. The line she said, I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, okay, I'm just in a different movie now. But I liked her character though because she all of a sudden got really. She was done, man. She wanted this job done, and then got a little bit dark. So,
yeah,
she got a little bit dark.
Just a little
bit.
She started sending out her mechanized trash cans to blow up robots.
Yeah,
she was great as Howard Stern's boss in the Howard Stern movie many years ago. Before she went.
Oh,
well, I think
Was the main guy?
Oh, good.
Oh, I was just going to ask if the main guy was from that. What was it? Tenant? Was that what it was?
Was that the same guy?
I think I want to say it was. No,
I don't think so.
no.
John David.
What else
Okay.
has he been in here?
Yes,
it was him.
Tenant. Yep.
it was. Okay,
Really?
There you go, Brian.
I like that.
And he was also in Black Klansman.
He played protagonist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I think you're all going to be super happy to know that the creator inches out somewhere in time.
great.
69.
I'm watching Somewhere in Time tonight just for that reason.
Oh, yeah.
Josh and I are we do our annual trip. We're going to go to
Back in
the,
time?
no, we're going to go to Mackinac Island in Michigan and stay at the Grand Hotel this summer.
Yeah, you talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I did mention already? Okay.
Yeah.
Adam brings up a good thing. We mentioned Paul Giamatti earlier, who won the Golden Globe. He was also in the Howard Stern movie saying WNBC. You see, Howard, you got to say it the way Imus says it. I'm picking that movie sometime.
Well, okay. You should. All right. Now, I forget what order we do this. Do we spin the wheel first, or do we find out what our next movie is?
Either's fine.
You two are the bosses. Figure it out.
Dan, what do you want to do?
I think we pick the movie first.
Okay.
I think that's what we did last week.
Pick the movie first?
As an
The
announcing
person
movie?
say what the movie is. You get to announce the movie.
Oh, we announced the movie. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
There we go.
Ooh.
She going with what I think she's going with?
Yes. Assume so. I assume it's fine if it's on Paramount Plus, but it's also like available for rent for like $3 or $4 from like YouTube and Amazon and everywhere. I assume that's generally fine.
Yep.
Okay. So on a tonal shift from this week and last week, yep. I'm going with a very dumb movie that I like called Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Oh,
I've never seen that.
I really like it. I have it on DVD.
Ultimate Blue Steel.
Yeah.
Awesome.
wow, great choice.
In the computer.
That's
I just got like a flashback of the gas station
Oh my.
in that movie.
Yeah.
I like the reaction to chat.
Oh, what was the reaction in chat?
say. Oh, oh boy. Wow. How about
Zoolander.
just Derek Zoolander?
I think we should all wear our hair like that next week.
Yeah,
Hey,
had
some of
really
us don't
would.
have that option.
Can I do like more of a Han Solo look? I'm always a big Owen Wilson fan.
Wow. You know, we have not done a lot of Ben Stiller movies, if any.
I'll be more Mustafa.
Have we done any Ben Stiller movies up to this point?
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think we have.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Huh.
You haven't done Night at the Museum or anything like
Pretty
that?
bad movies too, though. So that's
Yes,
part
he
of the
Not
does.
Mystery Men yet, so
or why is the name escaping me? Walter Mitty. His
Oh.
Walter Mitty movie is not good.
yeah. All right. Well, that's excellent. So there, I haven't watched Zoolander in a long time. And
Happy to help you fix that.
Don't feel compelled to watch the sequel.
There's a sequel.
I was going to say that's the first thing that popped up on my thing here is Zoolander 2.
absolutely.
Stacy, by the way, the picture you pulled up, that is not where the theater was. The theater was on the other side of the street.
Yeah, because that is the even number side, and it was 1121. You're right. So it wasn't replaced by the Health and Human Services building.
Anyway, I'm just going through Beaver Falls right now, and it's kind of anyway distracted. Easy.
Us. All right, we're gonna spin.
Go ahead.
Let's spin. Yeah.
Sounds like
We'll pick
that is so old school.
side of the movies.
I know, right?
Throw Scott on there. He's in the comments.
Oh,
He
you're right. He was in the comments.
didn't get a chance to watch this movie, but he's.
All right.
Assuming he wants to be.
Yeah.
I talked to him earlier. He said,
Who doesn't want to be?
Okay.
And actually, I hadn't put Dan and I on this wheel for the past 2 weeks, just because we had done the double feature. But I have returned our names to this wheel because this will be our wheel that gets us through this whole segment. So we're gonna spin this. We're gonna shuffle this, and then we're gonna spin this, and we'll see who gets to choose the movie. And they'll announce that movie next week for the watching in 2 weeks. And that honor goes to Adam. Just like that.
He'll be able to get his revenge for Zoolander.
boy,
Wow, he was right on top of that.
"No, I know." That's what he said.
Zoolander response.
I just put it back up.
Oh boy.
Adam, do it. WNBC. Pick it. Private parts.
See, when I see oh boy, I think Quantum
He's
Leap.
got a week to think about what he wants to choose.
Oh boy.
So we don't, Adam, you have a whole week. Contemplate your choices. Might have the more interesting conversation. What movie you would
We'll
to
let us know
defend.
next week.
Defending your movie.
Bless you.
Well, there we go. So last piece of business, of course. Anybody watch any movies or
So,
TV?
last week that you told me about Bodies, Eric,
I did mention Bodies last week.
and I finished it. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's a really good series. Like 10 episodes,
8.
8 episodes, something like that. Yeah, I would definitely. Oh, and your mother watched it too.
Yeah, she watched it in a day.
Wow.
She just binged that sucker.
I guess.
The private parts will probably offend Stacy. I don't know about Amanda, but definitely.
I don't think Amanda's that easily offended.
If it's got nudity and stuff, I don't want to see that. But if it's just body jokes and grossness,
There's a couple boobs at one point, but
I mean, that's bother me, but
Time cop.
well, let me just say it was fast forwarded through. Now, when we tried to watch the movie with Sarah Silverman, what was that movie? With
Finding Sarah or Forgetting Sarah.
yeah, Sarah Marshall. That just started off bad, and I was just done.
That was male nudity too.
Yeah, and it's all bad, but that
Bodies is male nudity in it too, because
but it ends with the puppet musical. It's so good.
Can we talk a little bit about all the bikini shots in Burn Notice?
I know.
Well, it is in Miami.
There's a few of those.
It's not
A few.
No, it's the whole nudity, but it makes me think about like silk stockings. Like there was
I remember that.
super cheesy,
Yeah.
shots of women on the beach. It's like, really?
I'll
Can't
certainly
imagine why I
discuss it
like
when we
that
get to
show.
Burn Notice, but I think the fact that it's so stuck in Miami is one of the weak points of the show.
Yeah.
That the entire show takes place for X seasons all in Miami.
Mhm.
Well, that's the whole point. He's burned, and that's where he's.
I realize why. I realize that's the conceit of it, but it limits what you can do and what you can show, and
Yeah. Well, they
it
do
also
go-
stretches credibility to the extreme breaking point because he pretends to be all these people and nobody ever recognizes him again as
Exactly.
"Hey, you were the money launderer.
Yeah.
Especially since he doesn't disguise himself. He's
No.
still Michael.
No, he's not doing a Mission
I'm not
Impossible where
trying
he's
to
putting
get
on a
through.
mask and disguising himself.
I'm gonna try to get through 1 or 2 more episodes. We'll see how this goes.
I will say
Well,
I
get
like
out of season 1.
Yeah.
Get out
I
of
finished
one.
season 2, and so I know that the first time I watched this, I at least got that far because I remembered the end of season 2.
Oh,
I'm
good.
still trying to figure out when I stopped and where. I just don't know yet.
They go into some other areas once he gets back in good grace.
Mhm.
They send him off to like other places. He ends up in Havana one time, and yeah.
But here's the
Doing some
thing.
totally unbelievable stuff.
Yeah. The thing watching it this time, this is, I think, the third time we've watched it. We watched it before COVID, but I missed a lot of it. And then
We did the whole thing.
we did the whole thing again during COVID. And because we could, it was on whatever. And that it was, COVID was a different time. But watching it this time, I'm like, oh, I know that building. That's later on in this season that season, and I started to recognize that it's a set.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much so. It wasn't just like they filmed it. They were disguising this building as many different places, and it wasn't.
No,
very
I won't say anything more just because I want to save it for the show. But there's things I really like about it and things that really hold it back.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
But I did at least try, so we'll see. But every time they hit to the beach, I'm like, oh, that's why Wade likes this show.
Not exactly.
That's not the only reason, but I will say that when we were first married, and we were married a couple years, and his dad was cleaning stuff out of the attic or something, hands him a box of photos. It was all beach pictures on telephoto lens that he and his brother took. And I'm like, what do you know these people? No.
Wow.
Yeah, Wade was weird.
Still am, I think.
Okay, then. Wow.
They'd arrest you now. Back in the 80s, they didn't
Yeah,
arrest
80s
you.
you could do that stuff.
I think Wade needs a new intro. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I think the donkey's good enough.
so do I.
So we watched, well, actually, I watched, and Jennifer rolled her eyes while I was watching. There's a series called The Night Agent on Netflix.
I watched The Night Agent. Yeah.
Not bad.
Is that the one with Hugh Laurie?
Is
Or
that?
am I thinking of something else?
I think you might be thinking of something else. This didn't have anybody. No.
It's The Night something. There's a huge. All right.
No, this is Gabriel Basso and Lucian Bachmann and Eve Harlow. I don't know.
No, that's not how you
Harlow.
pronounce any of those names, but it's close.
It's all fine. It's not terrible. This is literally one of those series where it's 8 episodes and it's kind of action-ish. It's kind of reminiscent of your Jason Bourne, your handsome guy from the White House running around with a gun with a girl kind of movie series, I should say. But not
The Night Manager is what I was thinking of.
That might have been better than The Night Agent.
The Night Shift. Yeah.
Yeah, Night Shift would probably definitely be better. Again, if you're just looking for something, I do enjoy a series that I know is just going to be one series, just going to be 8 to 10 episodes of something, not 9 seasons.
I did. It seemed shorter than 7 seasons, but
yeah,
that's one of the reasons I like so many British series.
Episodes.
So many British series are much shorter in the pre-streaming era. These days, of course, lots of series are short, but in the old days, you'd have an 8-show British season and a 25-show American season.
Yeah. This is a little I don't know. This feels a little like 24, but it's only 8. So it goes by a little faster. And so again, if you like that kind of thing, just kind of fluff, whodunit, everybody's bad, people who you thought were good turned out to be bad kind of show. It's not terrible. And it's, apparently, one of the highest watched shows on Netflix this week.
The Night Agent? Is that what it's called?
The Night Agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got me on bodies last week, so that's
if you're looking, the episodes are pretty reasonably, like 44 minutes. They're not terrible, and I said I think it's 8 to 10 episodes. Maybe slightly predictable, but again, not bad. Graphics are pretty good, acting's pretty good. I don't know. I always look for some show that I can watch that I don't have to watch with anybody else in my house. Whereas I'm like, no, you got to save that. We got to watch that together.
Yeah.
So this was a good choice for that.
I don't think we watched anything else, did we?
Just Bob's Burgers.
Oh yeah.
Bob's Burgers.
Reagan turns the TV on just for mindless noise, and then leaves. So that's how we watch Bluey, and that's how we watch Bob's Burgers.
I think
Wow.
that
Episode where
she's setting you up.
she left it on. I ended up watching it, and then she watched it. And she kind of
They invented these things.
Yeah, we know. We can never find that, Dave.
Yeah.
Never.
And then the third time she was gonna watch it to see what it was about. And I'm like, no, you can't watch. I cannot watch this again.
I think Reagan's taking the remote with her. I think she's setting them up. It's like, you guys will be watching Full House tonight, and then
heck
up
no.
with the remote.
Or worse yet, Fuller House.
Yeah.
Now, Bluey, I will watch every episode there is. It's really good. But Bob's Burgers, after a while, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to care about the characters a little bit and understand them a little bit more. I'm starting to see the character development. But my gosh, that show.
Well, the show was originally, the original premise was they were cannibals.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Did it?
They never actually, I don't think they ever did the pilot even. When they first were
Okay.
pitching it, that was the idea.
Well, Aqua Teen Hunger Force is another one that is completely different from the original concept of the show. The original Aqua Teen Hunger Force was much more straightforward superhero fast food. And then it became this totally absurd, surreal thing that it became.
I did enjoy Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I've never heard of it.
That was a very special time.
It's
it is.
Dave, that's awfully obscure. And here comes Eric. Oh, I did enjoy that. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
It was part of Adult Swim. I mean, it's
You
one of the
would-
Adult
Oh,
Swim.
yeah,
shows.
comedy.
Stacey would absolutely not enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh, especially Carl.
Comedy
She
Network.
would just lose her mind on Carl.
Is that Cartoon Network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We blocked that when we had cable
Wow.
because
Yeah.
the kids were always on it, and I'm like, no, you cannot watch this channel, so we blocked it. And now we don't have cable. We haven't had cable since 2009. So
One of my favorite things in Bob's Burgers was when the mom was singing to a chicken, "Let the egg roll from your egg hole."
Wow.
I love Linda, and it drives me crazy that it's a guy
Yeah.
doing her voice, and it's just, I just love her. I want to be her friend sometimes because I know people like her. Just cracks me up.
All right. Well, Adam liked Master Shake.
Oh yes.
Master Shake from that show.
I was always a
Oh, I
Frylock
remember
fan,
Master
but
Shake, of
Master
course.
Shake's good.
I was more of a Frylock guy, but you know.
And Meatwad.
I was Meatwad.
Yeah.
I'm all
You were
team
Team
Meatwad.
Meatwad the whole way. Huh?
I told Jennifer I was going to call Alex Meatwad for the first year of his life. And I
I
might
guess
have.
that just leaves Carl for Dan, huh?
All right.
Oh, what a show!
It was just so bizarre.
It was a weird time where they were just seeing how far they could push it.
It was it was as though people would just come in and pitch and they'd go, I guess, sure, why not? Because how would you do a pitch meeting for Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Did anybody ever watch Happy Tree Friends?
No.
Oh,
I think so.
Oh,
I
man.
saw the, yeah.
It was a little dark as well.
Yeah, it made me sad, so I totally.
It was again. It was one of those shows that everybody ended up as a bloody stump by the end of the show.
No.
Definitely not Stacy's.
No.
I would not think up Stacy's alley.
No.
Yeah, no.
I can't think of anything else we've watched this week. We're watching Bondi Rescue with no sound on right now.
Because Reagan left it on?
Yeah.
She's watching it. She's watching it.
You kind of tell what's going on, but
Yeah. And then I feel like there was something else that we were watching on YouTube, and I can't think of what it was. I don't know.
I was looking for a clip of Happy Tree Friends, but it's so disturbing I refuse to bring it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to share that.
So instead, we can talk about these lovely Taylor Swift popcorn buckets.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Those are fantastic.
Those are fantastic. AMC Theater. These were my sister was nice enough to pick up a couple of extras.
By the way, that's a small popcorn.
That's a little one.
They were selling those originally sold for $20 with popcorn in them, $19.89.
And how much did? Oh, that's cute. How much did she pay for them when she get them?
They were down to $5 and change.
Yes, they're $5.99 now because they're realizing they may have printed too many.
I think that is a great price for that.
AMC, they had piles of those, and they had even bigger piles of the Aquaman popcorn, metal popcorn.
Oh, poor Aquaman.
What movie
Aquaman that never came out.
Oh.
What a lull.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, we have our marching orders for next week.
I did think, Eric, that if Miami had won the game last night against Buffalo, the Steelers would have been playing Kansas City, and maybe you would have been interested in football next weekend. Because
doubtful, but maybe. That has not been motivation enough for me to watch a football game.
Now, if they get to the Super Bowl, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm sure she'll probably do halftime.
There are plenty of photos and video of Taylor Swift on the internet already that I don't need to watch TV for 3 hours just for a glimpse of Taylor Swift watching football.
Which you can there'll be a compilation from the
typically yes
2 days later of all of her shots.
That is very true.
It is really kind of bizarre the way they are fixated on trying to they probably have a camera literally once they find where she is in the luxury boxes, trained on her for the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, but I do know Swifties who have watched the games just solely for a chance to. It's definitely up their viewership. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but the demographic of the ads that run during football games would probably not appeal to most Swifties.
True.
Beer and cars.
Auto Trader's been advertising with Keenan Thompson.
Well, that's cars.
That's our big ad. That's true, but it's Keenan Thompson.
Yeah.
Swifties might like him.
Why? Because they were both on Saturday Night Live at one point?
Yeah.
Are they the same age?
What up with that? No, he's much older, I'm sure.
Is he really? Dang, I remember when he was a baby on all that.
So wait, she's born in 1989, right? Is that why?
That is correct.
All right, so
Hence the name of her album.
Yeah,
Tina-
so yeah.
Tina Thompson was born in 1978.
Yeah.
So have you made it further in Ted Lasso, Amanda?
I'm now 2/3 of the way through season 2, so I have a few episodes left in season 2.
Does she have a hole cut in the back of her hat?
No, it's a puff ball.
It's a pom pom. I don't think it's her hair.
Oh, okay.
No, she's a robot.
Oh, there we go.
That's why she has that on.
She's covering her
she's
cylinders.
covering the cylinders. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Crazy.
It all makes sense.
Crazy.
Too funny.
World's gone crazy.
So back to football for a quick second. First time
No.
1935, I think, that all 4 teams in a division had a winning record. Yet only one will come to the Super Bowl.
That's some sports talk music for you.
There we go.
Where's Cody?
The sports report.
Where's Cody? I mean, Cody will be talking Steelers right now. They backed their way into the playoffs.
No, he'd save that for his other podcast.
That's true.
Warm it up on it. Use us as the warm up.
So to Adam's comment, most sequels are really, really bad. It's the exception that isn't.
Yeah, very true. They should have just called it Bad Burger.
Used to be Good Burger.
Or they could call it Burger. Meh.
Crazy. Well, all right then.
We've got Zoolander to watch.
This groundhog.
Zoolander.
So yes, next week, Zoolander, Paramount Plus, other places.
Ordered from Monaco Library.
I have it on DVD with deleted scenes and stuff.
Oh,
You might have it on DVD.
You know, I have always wanted to see it, so I just
good.
I've never just pushed to go get the DVD. So now I have.
Now you have to.
It always comes down to comedies where the characters are really dumb, are really hit or miss. You know, Anchorman is one of those comedies, and Anchorman is very funny.
See, I've never seen that either.
So it just depends. It's
I don't think I've seen Anchorman either.
I don't know if Stacy would enjoy Anchorman. I think she might like Zoolander.
Let's go, Paul Rudd. How could you not like him?
He's so funny.
Adam's not excited about the idea of spending money on Zoolander.
Always a good sign.
Well, I don't always gauge my movie enjoying tendencies based on Adam's. You know, so, you know, he could be right. He might not be. So
it's true.
We'll see next week.
Yeah,
we will. We will see.
Maybe right.
See of you, all of you. And then we'll learn what Adam's choice of a movie is next week.
Yes. We'll have to see how much Zoolander pains him and how much he has to recover from that with a movie he loves.
Yeah, how we have to follow that up.
And then in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, we'll be talking about Burn Notice. So take a moment.
I think
3 weeks.
Can I throw something out as an idea, which I don't know if we covered or not?
Sure.
Let's also do a movie the week we do Burn Notice.
that's probably
Because we talk about Burn Notice for like 10 minutes. Half the people didn't watch it. They don't tune in. This way we have a movie too.
Yeah.
That's how we used to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's a short movie, we could do that.
Let's do a short film.
There you go.
Well,
I don't want to, someone to pick The Irishman.
Or this is when we do Two Towers.
Yes.
Nothing Martin Scorsese. Let's just put it that way.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, yeah. Well, we can. I'm sure we can pick something. Relatively
That
reasonable.
way, and then maybe we make the TV.
Yes, your cat is dead.
What's that?
The reason, I think the original reason we didn't do a movie the same week was because we were afraid the TV show would get like 5 minutes of discussion. It's like, let's talk about the movie.
Right. Exactly. Right. Which is why we decided that the TV show would get its own week.
Plus, at the very least, you have time to watch 2 hours of the TV show the week before because you're not watching a movie, right?
Yeah.
There's a week in which you really can just watch Burn Notice.
We pick a we'll pick a very special TV after school TV special.
Yeah. A very special episode of Bird Notice.
That's right.
Well, there is one. It's like movie length.
Yeah.
Following Sam Axe, which is actually kind of.
Yeah, that was like between seasons 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, something like that. Yeah.
They did a mini reunion of Suits last night on the Golden Globes, where the main two actors came out.
I saw that,
and they're like, "Yeah, it's pretty interesting to get recognized for your work years after you do it."
Mm-hmm.
Because it was literally they went off the air in 19, and their show became a hit this past summer.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because it was streaming, and so people binged it.
It was on Netflix and it was on Peacock. It had been on Peacock the whole time, but Netflix picked it up.
That helps.
It set a record. It was like 13 billion minutes viewed the first month.
Wow. Interesting.
All right.
All right then. All right, Zoolander next week.
Okay.
Here, we will see you then. Have a lovely week. Bye, everybody. See ya.